So, A, I should go buy a lottery ticket. Two, this episode just enforced the ever-living shit about the rant I went on about how this show should have been just these two. Because this show's entire strength is every minute that it is just these two on screen.
Yes. These when these two are on screen together, they are incredible.
And I get it. They made a cool moment about the fact that they died. But other than making a cool moment about the fact that he did a shitty thing, none of those moments mattered. So they could have just went, I mind controlled people and made something just like my mom did. They could have had it just be these two the entire time and had flashbacks to her and Nicholas, because that was the best part of the entire show, was the first 20 minutes of this episode. That's the best acting Catherine's gotten to do the entire show. It's the best version of Agatha that we've gotten in the entire show. It showed this thievy, conniving, whatever piece of shit witch, but also an unbelievably loving mother that they've been trying to do in all these other episodes to show that she could do both, but making it fail horribly because their tonal whiplash was so bad I'm shocked my head didn't rip off. This whole episode being just about them showed this whole fucking show should have been just these two dealing with the loss of his mom and her son.
Because they're kindred spirits that way.
Yeah!
He reminds her of the son that she lost. And obviously she's got connections to Wanda.
And you know what they didn't do the entire show until this episode? Talk about that! That should have been the whole show! This could have been a top tier, top 3 show if that would have been the entire plot line. Because Catherine got to act her fucking ass off in this episode. And you want to know what she didn't do? Until the last 3 minutes of this episode, which this time I bought it and I didn't in the last episode, partially redeem herself. She finally came clean and did something good, even for a second, to show that she has genuine problems. They did more in this single episode than they did in the entire show, because these were the only 2 important characters in the entire show.
So what you said about this show being written backwards, it's starting to make more sense now.
Oh, I would tell you right now, I would bet my actual house they had this scene written and didn't have a fucking clue on how to get there. I've never felt more right about a show being built from the fucking ass end ever. Because this could have been reverse engineered. If they felt like, cool, we need to get here, we have a start and an end. They never had a start. They had an end. They wanted to get these two together, leaving to look for Tommy. That's all they had. And they had no freaking idea how to get there. Because the Salem 7 was fucking pointless. Absolutely pointless. They don't even show you how they became them in the flashbacks. All they ever cover is Rio not even screwing Agatha over, just being honest with her that, hey, I'm here to take your son, but you're going to have some time with him. And they could have tried to do something where if I give you some bodies, I get Nicholas back. They never said that, but they could have made that be a thing because they reveal in the last episode that Agatha knew her from the start and she had this connection with her because she took her son. Not the bullshit that the show's been telling us the whole time about what happened to her son.
Yeah, I actually never bought the whatever that explanation was.
So half the show was a lie when half the show could have been her being honest with herself through flashbacks about what actually happened and us start to care about Agatha. But we didn't have that. We had these random trials that in the end gave you a 2-minute scene. This whole show could have been really tightly knit with Agatha getting through her shit about what happened with Nicholas and then connecting further with Billy, and then Billy trying to forgive her for the shit she did to Wanda, and then trying to figure out how to get back to Tommy and be like, hey, you lost someone too. We can connect with that. But they just didn't do that. I have written fan fiction for 8 years. That's the only credit I have. I fixed the plot of the show in 2 minutes. I'm not trying to be mean because I know you enjoyed this, but am I wrong that this would have been better if it was just those two?
Oh, sure. But that's also not the show that we got.
It's not, but that's part of the problem. And I'm not seeing how the biggest part of this issue is I don't know how they didn't see that from the start. Because I came up with that plot synopsis. If you would have told me that Agatha lost her son because of death, she's irritated with death, and death is always following her, which the whole relationship with her being in love with death now makes even less sense. If I'm being really honest, that whole thing makes no fucking sense whatsoever now. Death has done nothing good to her, ever.
Yeah, now that I think about it, where would there even have been a love connection?
Nowhere. They put it in there to have lesbians, which, hey, don't get me wrong. Have lesbians when you want to have lesbians. You go ham. The main characters in this fan fiction that me and my friend have written for 8 years are 2 lesbians. But there was, again, no point to it. The plot line with her, the Salem 7, all of them were pointless. All of those sacrifices led to nothing other than Billy feeling a little bit bad and having a connection with his mom, which he could have gotten without those sacrifices. 3 of the 4 plot lines in this show, in the end, ended up meaning nothing. 2 of them were genuinely baffling and didn't make sense. And then the one thing that actually meant something throughout the whole show, we got one good scene of in the last 20 minutes of the last episode. Give Secret Invasion all the shit you want, but the plot stayed through the whole show.
Yeah, it just kind of went sour in the last episode.
Yeah, take this, but the last 20 minutes that were really good of this was the shit show that was the end of Secret Invasion. This could have been just as good as WandaVision if they would have took 2 steps back. This feels like 2 people wrote this plot and didn't allow editors. This screams no one edited this script. Because when you get to this end, someone has to go, there's 3 or 4 plot lines going on that don't make any sense and all get in the way of the actual plot line, which is these 2.
You know, something else they could have done, and I'm only suggesting this because it is kind of like what Arrow does. Have like the present be the journey of Billy and Agatha, and then flashbacks each episode of Agatha and Nicholas.
The Agatha and Nicholas, and then you could have had, you know what? You're exactly right. They should have framed this how Arrow did it, and it would have been perfect, because it could have had Agatha and Nicholas, and then throughout that, you also could have had flashbacks of Billy remembering moments of Billy with Wanda and Tommy. They should have framed this whole thing with just those two as a season of Arrow. You're 100% correct. It would have made this a 9 out of 10. And I'm so genuinely baffled. It has to be no one gave a crack at editing this. There was no one that had an outside input on this to not see how fucking simple this would be of a fix. It's genuinely baffling to me that they didn't go through with that. Because I'm going to be really honest with you, they could have chopped this down to 6 episodes, cut all the fat out, and this would have been amazing. Genuinely phenomenal. No one's bitching whatsoever. Take out the the freaking love interest with Death. That was literally just to see Aubrey Plaza make out with a woman, which, hey, again, you get the people in the seats however you want to get them, but it was pointless. In the end, it was pointless. Death can still be there because she serves a point through that story and connecting them, but get it out of there. The Salem 7, no dice, not needing it. You could have had those two just broker a deal and then they get into the road and they need to go to the end of it because all they ever were was people in the background going, hey, the plot needs to happen. Don't stop for monologues. Like, that's all they did. They did nothing else the whole show. They had probably a collective 10 minutes on screen.
If even that.
So they were pointless. Agatha even says at the end to herself, she goes, yeah, I killed a lot of people too. That's just shit that kind of happens as a witch. It's really nothing special. And then Billy has a nice moment, engraving, whatever. But it could have been, I trapped you in there just like my mom did. And then you could have had that be another moment where you didn't know what you were doing. And Agatha connects with her and tells her your mom didn't either.
That would have been a really nice moment.
Right! I'm not reinventing the wheel thinking of these ideas. This is common sense shit. It writes itself at this point. If you and me sitting in a room with whoever did this, if they would have told us the ending point, we could have fixed all that in 5 minutes. We're doing 12 in here, and we've already rewritten the whole show to make a lot more sense. And you know what? It would have saved them a lot of money. Because they wouldn't have needed to do half the erroneous shit they did in those freaking sacrifice scenes. Which, give or take, again, they were cool, but they were pointless. And now we have no idea what they're going to do for Death from now on. She's just left. We only got her in flashbacks.
I still think we'll see her again. How? That's a good question.
But here's the thing. How and where are we going to see them? And how and where are we going to insert Wiccan again? Because unless they make, and I don't want them to do this because it'd be really dumb to make a whole show and then do this, they're going to have to off-screen him finding Tommy. Because they're not going to waste a whole half of a Young Avengers film making him find Tommy.
Yeah, no.
That just screams all that's being done off screen. Because, you know what? If you would have shrunk down up to this process here, 6 episodes, you could have had the whole ass end of the show being them finding Tommy. If you take out all the extra garbage that we just discussed, literally did nothing. It's kind of actively irritating me how unbelievably amazing this show could have been. I liked it, don't get me wrong. It's like a 6 to me right now. It could have been a fucking 11 if they would have chopped all the garbage out of it. Not garbage, unnecessary plot developments that led to nothing. It's just so weird how someone didn't see this. Like, I'll watch some shows and be like, hindsight's 2020. No, This was you never put the glasses on in the first place.
I definitely felt that in the first half. I'm like, I'm liking this, but also where are you going with this?
I don't know. This is so baffling. This could have been the one where everyone goes, this was pointless, and then no, they had a really good genuine connection that made her not feel like a side character and not complain that much about Wiccan. And I'm going to be honest here, and I don't mean this in any disparaging way. They made the big claim that this is a gay explosion of a Marvel show, and then they kind of made the gay elements of it a pointless plot detail that didn't add up to anything and in the end made no sense. This is where, when you want to include this stuff, you need to do it in a meaningful way and not hammer it into a script where in the end, when people realize that it actually didn't add anything, it feels like it was added just to have it. Because we've both said it, their relationship makes no fucking sense. At all. She said she gave her a raw deal. He didn't give her a deal. She said, I'm taking your son eventually. And that made her all hot and bothered to go get with Death?
Yeah, they didn't think that one through.
Like Wiccan. Having him have a boyfriend. That was just a thing that happened. It was like, cool, he's in a car, he's got a boyfriend, no harm, no foul, nothing offensive against it. Wasn't a dumb plot thing. It was genuinely part of the plot of him tracking down Ralph, and it worked. There was nothing. It didn't disaffect anything. They didn't spend 4 episodes trying to say it was something it wasn't. There was no harm, no foul there. That was genuinely weaved into the script in a natural way.
Yeah, that I liked quite a bit.
That's what also makes theirs seem like such a sore thumb, because that didn't do anything and logically didn't make sense. They had examples of both in the same show, and that's what makes one look way worse than the other.
Unfortunately.
So that's where I go back to the editing thing. Someone on the outside should have had a pass at these scripts to go, it's good here, it's not needed here. This is what feeds ammunition to people to bitch about this shit. But, yeah, that would just be I'm sorry that I've been so down on this one, but the more as it goes on, I was just like, you guys could have waited another 6 months of just hammering this script into the ground, and you would have had something just chiseled out of just diamond. You know what this reminds me of? But to a better extent. Remember how I told you that basically Madam Web is an 8 movie stuck in a 2?
Yeah.
This is a 11 stuck in a 6.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Even though I've liked the second half of this significantly more than the first half, but
oh, I do too. The second half felt like the part that they had planned. Partially, but
yeah.
They had cool ideas. I wish that if they would have had a second season, then after they found Tommy and then they're all happy, they could have had a cliffhanger where the Salem 7 show up, and then Billy goes, who the hell are they? And then she goes, I might have done some other things I didn't tell you about. And then they have another season dealing with just them.
Now that would have been cool.
Right! You had a whole season worth of characters you wasted in 10 minutes. Because this could have been a testing board where if this did good, you do another season and use them. Because now you have them together as the buddy cop film and then go on. And then you could have had Tommy, Billy, and her, And you have the third wheel going about how, wait, so you're getting along with her now and she's the one that tried to kill Mom? What's going? And then they have to partially make him understand what they went through. And then I'm literally writing the second season. Oh, God. I hope someone else realized what they could have done with this and then fixes how they look at scripts in the future. Because I want that version of a second season, but we can't have it.
Yeah, especially because this show was made before the regime change, where well, it may not be reflective of next year's slate.
It's going to be reflective of the next one.
Said we are going to slow down on new shows and stuff.
Here's the thing, though. Bob Iger said that to say that, because what did he say? Bob Iger said, we're going to slow things down and put out 3 movies and 2 TV shows a year. Hey, Mike, I want you to do some quick math. What was the output that they were doing in the years previous to this?
3 movies.
And about 2 TV shows a year. What are they slowing down? Bob, put your pants back on because you are talking out of your ass. Say we're taking our time with scripts more to make sure the same level of output is good. Not lie and say, hey, kids, we're slowing down output. What's that, Ted? That's how many we were putting out before? Don't you worry. No one else is going to do that math within 2 seconds and call my bullshit. Ted, it's going to be fine. Oh, wait, they did? Oh, shit.
and just to laugh even more, this is what next year's slate looks like.
Oh, all the animated shows? Just oh, yeah, because that freaking... Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so in December, we have What If Season 3. That's still this year, but...
Yep.
It leads to, in January, we get Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yep.
And then...
So far, 2 shows.
February is Cap 4. Brave New World.
1 movie.
In March is Daredevil.
3 shows, 1 movie.
We're
already outbalancing the equation here.
Was there anything in April? I don't think so. But Daredevil will probably still be
Nope.
running around that time.
I'd imagine. Marvel Zombies is in there somewhere.
Yeah, hold on.
Eyes of Wakanda.
In May is Thunderbolts.
Okay.
June is Ironheart.
Okay.
July is Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Hold on.
We still have 2 shows to fit into here. And we're on 3 movies and 4 shows.
I think August is Eyes of Wakanda.
Okay.
Let me just confirm.
Either way, it's still in
August.
there. Okay. When is Zombies?
October.
Okay, so we're 6 shows, 3 movies.
And then December is Wonder Man.
So 7 shows and 3 movies.
Yep.
You couldn't have pushed any of those back and then use that as filler to make the other stuff take a little bit longer to make, but then have the schedule be good. Bob, tell me you didn't look at the slate moving forward and could have fixed this problem, but you didn't. Because you're not...
I think this is the result of fixing because, well, no, this is the result of backlog from the pandemic and the double strikes from last summer.
Well, I get that, but if if all this stuff does not equate to happening after Secret Wars, and I'm going to assume none of these shows affect Doomsday or Secret Wars directly until they happen, and those movies are not shot yet, so they can figure them in however they want. They could have went 4 of these shows the next year, 1 of these shows the year after, 1 of the movies slip over, and then you have all those years padded out with the rules that say you want to have with the 3 movies and the 2 TV shows, and then you have filler and time to come up with the TV shows and movies that will come after Secret Wars without needing to rush to produce them, to make them be good, make sure they're needed, and plan it.
Oh, okay. I see.
You get
I
what
see
I'm
you're saying
saying?
now.
See, so they could have spread all this shit out and not have wrecked anything. Since all of this is multiverse product. It doesn't matter when you weave them in, because I'm going to guarantee you Wonder Man doesn't affect anything. I'm going to guarantee you Ironheart doesn't affect anything. Sure as shit, Eyes of Wakanda, What If, and Zombies isn't going to affect anything. All this could have been padded out to fill the schedule and then used as time to make new shows and time to produce things and make them be good. Because again, you make multiple billions of dollars a month off just subscriptions.
And the prices have gone up too, so
Yeah. So you could have fixed this overflow problem by just padding them out. You're not losing money having them sit there. You really aren't. And last I checked, Disney isn't into the whole tax write-off thing, so it could sit there for a minute and just be like, hey guys, we realized we had a whole lot going at once. And you know what that could also allow? Reshoots for those shows, if they needed fixing.
yeah, that could have helped with some of these.
It's just like, man, remember how fucking excited we were when Bob Iger was back?
That lasted all of a day.
And now I cannot wait for him to leave.
I'm still pretty terrified of what is going to happen post Bob.
I don't know. But for the love of God, get someone not named Bob.
Yeah, no more Bobs. We're done with Bobs.
Avoid bees altogether. Just go clean to the end. Get yourself a Xander. I don't know what you need to do. Get yourself a xylophone if you can somehow find a guy with that. Just get XYZ anywhere at the end. Get yourself a Yuri. I don't care. Just give someone who cares about, I know this is hard to think, a businessman who cares about making things of their business and not their pocketbooks. But dear God, try. I want what show? Is it Shuhei? I can't remember the guy's name on the top of my head. The guy that when they weren't meeting their business goals for Nintendo, he halved his salary so that no one would get laid off.
Oh yes, that guy.
We need more people like that. My brain is saying Shuhei Yoshida, but I think that's wrong. But yeah, we need more people that actually give a shit about the business and not lining their pocketbooks. And I know that's impossible to find nowadays because, everyone is David Zaslav nowadays, but anyway, enough about that. I still did enjoy this, but just how much toward the end of it, it felt like they wrote the show backwards and kind of didn't care the further they got towards the front is baffling to me. But anyways, Mike, do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I am glad the show exists, but I will admit it took a while to get to where it needed to be. But I hope that this isn't the last. I hope this isn't the last time we see like more like magic and supernatural stuff in the MCU, because when they're on point, this is the stuff I want to see more of.
Yeah, and I'm okay with them like doing just TV shows being magic, because the rumor mill goes every day about how they want to make a freaking Midnight Suns movie. That could be the coolest movie they've ever made.
It can be.
Because magic is great, and we basically only have Doctor Strange now. And I love him. I love me some Benedict Cumberbatch. I really do. But it's just the one guy. There needs to be more than one magic user, and I don't know what's going on with Wanda, but she's likely not going to be back until an Avengers movie, if she is. Because she's openly said she's willing to come back. They just need to actually have a point to have her back.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could actually have her be the real Wanda in another thing where her brother is actually Quicksilver and not Ralph Boner.
Here's the hoping.
Here's the hoping. It'd be kind of cool if you did that. But, and you should make Quicksilver Grant Gustin, just to be stupid. Do some real multiverse stupidity. Start getting DC TV actors in here. Have Hawkeye be Stephen Amell. Go stupid. I don't care. But, all right. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. Check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You escaped, so do we.
Absolutely, and you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. By the time that this airs, I will be finishing up Life is Strange Before the Storm, and then starting Double Exposure, and then after that, it'll be pretty much Horizon for a while. It'll be the Zero Dawn remaster and then the Lego game, but I will filter Until Dawn's remake in between there and some other stuff to make sure it's not just all Horizon all the time, even though I would do that if I could. But alright, until next time, we'll see you all later. Bye!